Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to talk about kind of like what next steps are and also about dogmas a little bit. And the short answer to what next steps are is that it's uniquely yours. And I can't tell you, I can give you some advice, how I approached it, but to really own your own journey is huge. And I hate saying journey. I think the spiritual journey phrase is just tired. This exploration, I don't know what, I'll figure out a phrase eventually on how to better call it, but it's a very organic, divinely, uniquely yours kind of situation. And I think if I knew back when I started that to just kind of chill out and take it intuitively and take it slowly, that would have chilled out my energy. Instead, I kind of like charged into it, wanted to like research everything really quickly and I just felt pressure on myself that I didn't need to, but it's kind of like my rational brain wanting to organize something that I felt was like unorganized within me. So if you have that tendency, I feel you, know that it comes in small waves, that usually spiritual improvement is like just small steps. And we just don't have those goggles that say, I could put on these 5D goggles and be like, today I actually achieved 1.25% more inner peace and yay, I'm making progress. You feel kind of, sometimes it's drudgery or, the same, but you do get loops. They do come. You do get like epiphanies and aha moments that just change your perspective and like suddenly give you more healing and movement spiritually. So let me just give you encouragement that happens. For me, I tried to find people that I resonated with, and then I tried to look into their stories of like how they research things. So if they first went into Reiki, I've been started looking into Reiki practitioners near my area. If they did psychic classes, they talked about psychic classes that they took. I would try to look for those psychic classes online, or I would read books that they recommended. I did it like that. Another thing, which I don't think I recognized as much at the time, is that you get little signals from the universe. The universe just will whisper softly to you about the direction. So you just kind of have to be aware and just look for little synchronicities. If you run into people that are talking about shamanism, maybe you should look into shamanism. For me, I was getting repetitive animals. Like I would suddenly see a bunch of eagles. And so I started researching, what is the spiritual significance of eagles? And got into some shamanistic research for me. And I loved that. That resonated. It was fun. At the same time, I was getting a lot of memories of my grandparents coming up that were, they've been passed away, or they've been deceased for a while. And then I would get like little things. I'd run into things that, my grandmother loved, specific things that were like, okay, this feels a little like I'm communicating with something. And or my grandfather collected coins, and I'd get a lot of coins, and you see the year of his death on one or two of them, and I was just like, okay, I understand these are small signs. It's not like a huge, I'm trying to communicate with you, Susie, from my grandparents, but I just kind of took that in as, okay, this is a sign I'm open to mediumship. And I wasn't ready at the time. It kind of freaked me out. So I kind of was like, let me just put that over here in the shelf that exists that I will deal with later when I'm ready for it. Because I just felt so new in this. I didn't know rules. I didn't know, and I sound very rule-based, but I wanted to understand energy concepts. I wanted to understand some basic things before I went forward. And to be honest, I knew I was the very beginning of my healing journey. So I didn't really want to run into like divinatory things where if I'm in a spot where I'm reading for other people, I'm giving spiritual guidance, well, I want to make sure my landscape is pretty, at least given a once over on where my hurdles are. So I'm aware of those tricky spots. So if I run into someone with the same hurdle, like, I'm not the best person to give you guidance on that right now. And plus, the more healing I get, it makes you a clear instrument for the divine. So although that stuff is wonderful and it sparkles like, ooh, I want to see ghosts and I want to go mediumship, I knew that was like a layer for later. And, the desire to see the 3D kind of paranormal stuff just kind of settled down because it just became more of an inner journey. Here, going back to that word again. But you're really on an examination table for yourself to look at your hurts, to look at your triggers, to heal this energy within. And that's more about it than the psychic gifts that come along, although they're beautiful and they do come. And the more sensitive you become to energy, the more sensitivity you get. So it's like, that's a quote. He says it better. John Holland. He's a great medium. Ooh, sorry. Love to kick the stand for my video. Yeah, so, and then, like I said, like, even though it was strange, I didn't let it stop my journey. I just kind of put the mediumship behind me. And I wish, looking back, I would have done more writing about it. I wish I would have wrote more about my dreams that started coming in. Like, your subconscious is aware that your consciousness is changing. And when there's dissonance, meaning I believe something subconsciously that consciously, because I'm trying to be high vibe, it might be not resonating within me in terms of my energy. Like, what if I don't think I'm beautiful and I'm starting this high vibe journey? Well, I'm going to have some dreams pop up that are about like accepting myself. A lot of naked dreams came up for me. I mean, I know, sorry, but that's just how it was. Like, that's how the subconscious kind of worked for me. So note your dreams. I'd get like a little, I mean, you don't have to get anything fancy, just something to write down. School supply stuff is great. Like, Divine doesn't care, but you getting something out into 3D in terms of like, I had a dream, let me try to process it. The art of writing is like changing this energy from 5D to 3D, from thought into existence to help you see it. There's something about that. So I suggest that. Although my biggest, strongest thing about our journey is that there is nothing that we have to go do or go visit. There's no ring that we have to kiss. There's no pilgrimage that we really have to go on. It all can be within. Like, there's a Bible quote, and it's the one that I kind of love going to, just because of my Christian background, but that the kingdom of God is within. And we don't have to buy a damn thing. You don't have to go buy a retreat or a workshop or go see. You don't need to do anything. This is all just if you're aware of your triggers and you're wanting to work on them. This is great if you can couple it with therapy. I did something with EMDR therapy. It's a particular type that was good to distract me. It's for PTSD in particular, if you got elements of that. I didn't, but I happened to just find a practitioner who did this. I don't have a lot of trauma in my life. I've lost people, but I just don't. So, but what my hurts were my hurts, and this process helped me kind of chill out because they've got some sensors on your hand. My practitioner gave me little finger things to hold that vibrated at different times, that alternated, and like headphones that kind of had an alternating beep. And for some reason, that physical distraction means that you're not kind of, I think I'm summarizing this probably not that great, but I don't go into the emotions as much, the PTSD stuff, so I can kind of talk about an incident and like really get the lessons of it versus being in the emotional state of it. I hope I'm saying that right. But getting counseling, period, is wonderful. I know that's a place of privilege. It's expensive. And so if you can do it, find ways, reduce scale, that kind of stuff. You never know. If you need it, I hope that will align for you. But yeah, I did it with therapy and it worked great for me. I highly recommend it. There is zero shame about going to a therapist. And if you have a little about going to someone, maybe that's because you have an expectation that you won't be led to the right one. You'll be led to the wrong one. And I would just say, trust yourself that you're going to be led to the right one. Or if you are with someone who doesn't align, you'll recognize it and you can change it and find someone who does. So I'm just going to, encourage you to do that. Now, like I said about dogmas popping up, I kind of meant that about the whole belief, about this dissonance. Like suddenly those dreams of me being naked showed up and I was like, I need to think about self-love things for me. It can come up a whole lot of, because like they can be conscious and subconscious. I just noticed, it was a lot of self-love for me. Like, if I had more obsessive thoughts, it felt like at the time about, how I look. And it made me just really examine, like, my physical body is a meat suit. Like, it doesn't carry on. And what level of my existence do I really need to hone in and, like, identify with? And I just was like, I'm committed to my soul. I believe it was eternal before, and is it going to be eternal after? And so I'm going to identify that and just, like, love the vessel that I'm in physically. And it just helped me, like, just heal. So for me, like, it would come in waves of unconscious dogma. Like, I would just walk by a mirror and maybe, like, not feel great. Just suddenly be like, is that what we got today? And so that might pop in. For me, it started with that. I also just be like, suddenly with friends or family, I don't vibe with them anymore. Like, I don't know if I want to have commit to, next year's family reunion or whatever you feel like. I don't feel like doing Christmas again with my family, like whatever those feelings are that might pop up that could actually be conscious of, like, I just don't vibe with them. That might come up. You might just feel the energy of wanting forgiveness and love when people start talking about something and they start talking about like, retribution, punitive kind of negative vibe. Like, I could bring up a million examples about that, especially in politics, but like, and then you're like, I just don't think I feel like that inside, and you don't feel like saying that at the time. It's okay. This is all for your inner introspection. So just write about it, get that out. Say, I had a moment today, we were talking about this, and I just felt like that's too harsh, and like talk about that energy of restriction and how you responded to it and how you feel about it. Like, this is the work, man. It's all inner. And it's okay. And eventually you might find power to speak your voice at the right time and choose that, have the divine discernment to choose when you do that. Sometimes the safer time is just to get out of that situation or avoid those topics with people. You'll figure out your plan. But yeah, there is no to-do list. There's no place you have to go. Just drop any there's like 0 things you have to buy to be on this journey and to find inner peace. 0 things you have to buy. No candle, no crystal. You don't need to do any of it. You don't have to. If you want to look into it and it excites you and you feel like it helps you in like 3D, great. Do it. Go on those, solo journeys. I mean, I take my solo vacations and I get so much out of it. But, do I have to? No. I could go around the block and just do a walk and get my incremental improvement there. I have some choices I can make, and I've chosen to do some things for myself. But it is a constant evolution. Just know that whatever belief system that you might have, just kind of like start thinking, I might hold things gently. Like, I'm not like, this is my truth. I think I have to be a little looser to be open to hear truth. So if I am wrong on something, I can kind of shift and I'm okay, because I feel like I've already done my protection and I've already set my intention stuff to have an open mind, and already am grounding, on a daily basis. Then I know I'm going to be led. And so I trust that process. And I just, just know it's a kind of eternal question. The entire life, we're just going to have this question that we're going to continuously evolve and heal and just kind of spiral upward vibrationally. Before you go and judge yourself harshly on anything, just remember that this is just kind of it should be an easy energy of just forgiving yourself where you start at, and to go for it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Just write as much as you can, and it's going to work out. Whatever was divinely destined for you is going to happen. And I think the biggest thing is like, your path is yours, and it doesn't have to match anybody's. So don't put that pressure on you to have a certain sequence even. Like, it's just an organic, chill kind of process. And I just hope you get so much healing peace from it. 4 years into it, 5 years into it, I'm really glad I did it. I've healed a lot of things. I'm a different person than I was then, and it feels better. I just, on a daily basis, my inner peace is really good. And even when shit hits the fan, I'll have that WTF moment. I'm human too. But I feel like I kind of circle back to my foundations, and man, after 2020, we just don't know what's going to happen around the bend, and it's okay. I've kind of resolved that philosophically, energetically, and within me too. I don't want any whammies, but I understand if they come, it might be in my destined path, and I accept it. And I just hope to have high vibe responses to it quicker rather than later. So thank you for listening. I wish you the best in your path, and just good luck. And remember, the universe really does see us trying, and I think that's it. They see us trying, and that's all that matters. All right, good luck, guys. Take care.